So this is going to be a short update, basically just covering the things that have changed since yesterday. I got lots of feedback in YouTube and Facebook, and so I thought I would cover that a little bit because things have changed. We still have the game variable editor that I showed yesterday, but it has changed significantly to just a list rather than a table. And one of the things that people have been saying is that there's too much clicking in Component.Studio 2. So you weren't able, you had to go into a field and open the editor and, edit stuff so that it's requiring clicking. So I have made it so now you can edit things directly out here. So I can just type in red, for example, and it's changed. And the same thing goes up here. We can change things in all of these fields, but we can also hit the editor, and that gives us the full functionality. So for example, let me close the editor. If I were to type in something that is not a color, like just that, is not a color, it gives me the error message, or it gives me an error, but if I want to find out the details, I'm going to have to dig in. Now, obviously, I can look at this and go, oh, that's not a color, that's why it's giving me an error. But if I actually want the message, I have to go up here. And likewise, if I want to get access to the or the shortcuts, you do that through here. Or if I want the pixel calculator, that sort of stuff. So anyway, the idea is that if you want to go into the big editor, you hit the edit button. That'll open up the full edit window. But you can do short editing right in here. I've also made it a little bit easier to understand some of the error messages that we talked about yesterday. So for example, if I type in just that, of course it's not working. Let's try it up here. There we go. So we're getting, these kind of error messages are a little easier to understand what it is that is going on. So hopefully that'll help out a little bit. And also by popular demand, I have added groups to the variable system. So now the group panel can get this stuff. So you can come in here and edit your fields using the big editor. You can also throw variables in here. So all that works great. I'm thinking I'm probably going to add, if I can do it, I'm going to add this the drag and drop stuff here. There won't be a resize because a group is sized by its components, not by anything else. So if you want to resize it, you need to resize the components inside. But move and rotate, I can add buttons for those down here. I've also added editing the names of things, so you can very easily do that sort of thing. And we can add, of course, new stuff. You can edit these as well. And I did add rotation on the group. So if I set this to a 45-degree angle, you can see that it rotated it there. So then the group is being rotated, but the actual angle of the object isn't. So anyway, some niceties here. I'd like to know what you think specifically about about anything, but specifically the thing I want to know is, how do you feel about being able to edit out here? Does it feel like less clicks? And is that good, or do you think it's going to trip you up? Because you can no longer click. You used to be able to click this whole area to open the editor. Now you have to hit this little button here. But in order to be able to make this field editable, I can't make this whole thing clickable, because as soon as you click here, it would open the editor. So we had to make a smaller little button for it. And then the last thing, I've been getting some feedback from power users about potentially offering them shortcuts. So for example, if I wanted to put a variable, let me open this up. If I go here and grab a row variable, you can see that this data set has a row with a column called color. So I could take that and I could paste that into here, right? And so then I get the color that's from that row. All good, easy, understandable. Now, here's the thing. the power users are saying this is a very long variable because we used to just type color, or $ color was the old way it would be done. Now it's row dot color. So that's 4 characters instead of 1 character. I cannot get rid of the dot. There are technical reasons for not getting rid of the dot, but I could shorten it. I could say like r.color or $.color or something. And then the question becomes, do I do that for everything? So obviously that's not a valid color. Let's go to history here, grab my old color that I know works. Okay, so anyway, so I've got, data set, design, game, layer, and row are all top level variables with subvariables. There may be more as time goes on as well, but there's lots of stuff already here. And so do I create shortcuts for those? And likewise on the functions, do I create like shortcuts for these too? So instead of absolute value, it'd just be ABS, which is the typical programmer term for these things. I think it's pretty easy to create the aliases. It will take up some extra memory, not a huge amount, but a little bit. And the big thing is, I think for everyday users, I think the long names is the better way to go. So I think that in these shortcuts, it's always going to be, if you copy color from there, it's going to be the long one. It's not going to be the short one, right? And likewise, if you get a function and you copy it from here, if you take square root or absolute value or whatever, it's going to be the full square root when I paste that in there. It's not going to be, and this is going to be an invalid color, but it's not going to be the SQRT short version. So it's good for people who want to type things rather than using the shortcuts, but it's not going to be helpful from the shortcut point of view. So I don't know. I guess if you guys have feedback, if you consider yourself a power user, let me know what you think. Is it worth the effort of putting in the shortcuts to be able to keep things faster to type and so that they fit better into the small fields? That sort of thing. Just give me your feedback on that. I appreciate it. Thank you.